Hey folks, ever since I started this channel I've had multiple requests from several different people asking me how I got into playing the banjo. So I figured I'd make a video on it, and just how I got into music in general. Go way back to when I was only about 2 years old. I was obsessed with the Australian kids band The Wiggles. I'm sure a lot of y'all probably know who they are, but apparently I was obsessed with them. And then when I was about 5 or 6 I started really liking guitars a lot. I remember I thought guitars were just the coolest thing in the world. Like, I just wanted to strum one so bad. I never even saw one in person. I just really wanted a guitar. And I remember going into an antique store when I was about 9, and I saw a guitar in there, and I just really wanted to touch that guitar, I remember, but my dad said I couldn't touch it. It wasn't mine, but I remember I wanted to so bad. It's so funny. Looking back, it's hilarious, but guitars were just the coolest thing ever. So whenever I was 11 in 2014, I got my first guitar, started taking lessons on that, and just learned all the basic stuff that you learn at first, chords, basic tunes. Preferring rock as far as the type of music I would play. I got an electric guitar and started learning a good bit of rock stuff. Kind of got out of that. I got to where I was enjoying acoustic guitar more, which I think is why I later got into bluegrass. I started liking acoustic more. I would learn different chords and different ways to play hymns. I would play at church some. I just really enjoyed acoustic. But I was not into bluegrass yet, and that came later. I remember in 2017, it was December, we were watching this band called Southern Raised, and in one of their videos they played Foggy Mountain Breakdown. And I heard that song, and of course I always knew what a banjo was, and I always thought it was kind of cool, but I never saw myself playing it. But they played Foggy Mountain Breakdown, and I was like, I gotta learn the banjo. So we looked at banjos, and they were a lot more expensive than I was thinking, because whenever I was 14 I literally did not have a dime. I was terrible with money. I'd spend all my money right away. So I built a fence for my parents for our dogs, and they bought me my first banjo. And that was actually a really decent banjo. It was the Rogue B50, I believe. I believe it's called the B50. Feel free to correct me if I'm wrong, but I will show you a clip of me playing it. It's really solid, has a good tone. I really like the tone of it. It's got a good twang to it, so I will show you that clip. So anyway, that was my first banjo. I played it for a little over 3 years, and then last year, May of 2021, whenever I graduated, I got this banjo as a graduation gift. It's the Ibanez B200. It's the banjo that I always use in my videos if you've seen my videos before. So I got this banjo. I really like it a lot. It's really flashy looking. It's got these vines and planetary tuners and stuff. And I do plan to upgrade again eventually, but this really holds me off for now until I'm ready to spend thousands on a banjo. But it works really well. Whenever I was initially first learning, I remember I used the book Bluegrass Banjo for Dummies by Bill Evans. And that book is so great. If any of y'all want to learn the banjo, of course there's YouTube, which is great, but if you want to use a book, I very highly recommend that book because it is just great. It explains everything in great detail. I consider that what I learned from, because I started using YouTube a couple years later just for learning specific songs and stuff. So as far as just learning to play, I consider that book what I used. It worked really well. I really liked it. So I recommend that. And so yeah, just learned all the Scruggs stuff. I'm starting to learn more melodic and single string stuff now, getting more into the styles that Bela Fleck and Nolan Pikelny played. I'm trying to learn how to just mix it all up, mix up Scruggs and melodic stuff. So the style I like, I really like old traditional Scruggs style, but I'm starting to more and more like the style of Bela Fleck as far as the bluegrass stuff that he does, especially his newest album, that kind of stuff. So I'm trying to learn that kind of stuff, and I'm going to mix that with the Scruggs stuff and hopefully just kind of come up with my own way of playing. So yeah, that's where I stand right now. As far as other instruments, guitar, after I got into banjo I started learning some bluegrass guitar. Same with mandolin, I started learning mandolin, fiddle, bass. So yeah, all of them just kind of tie in together, and I love playing them all. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it entertained you, and I will see you next time.